As we are in the 6th chapter, in the first verse we saw that Atma akasavat anantam iti. And that verse was very nicely discussed, that akasavat anantoham ghatavat prakutam jagata iti jnanam tathi tasya na tyagah na graho layah iti. So the relationship between Atma and this Jivatma. So Jivatma here is this individual, and we can very carefully translate Jivatma as a soul. Atma cannot be translated as soul. So for some of you, I must make it very clear once more, because unfortunately, especially in Christianism and so-called literatures, they do talk about soul, and they present soul as Atma. In reality, Jivatma is a soul. Soul travels. Jivatma travels. So what is Jivatma? I hope you remember this much. So Jivatma is nothing. Okay, what is soul? Let us talk in English so that it becomes easier. So when you say soul travels, what does it mean? So it is the pratibimba. Pratibimba means a reflection of what? Atma, number one. And when you say reflection, how does the reflection happens? Because this is something called subtle body and causal body. So that means the consciousness gets reflected through the medium called subtle body and causal body, put together is called soul. And that is called Jivatma. That keeps traveling and looks for gross body. Whereas Atma is no more pratibimba, is not a shadow, is not a reflection. Atma is all pervasive. Let us not get into. So here he says, look, because why I brought this point? Because Akasa is like Atma. Then Ghata is like Jivatma. The pot is like Jivatma. Or if you want to say differently, Paramatma, Atma, sometimes they change. So Paramatma is again Akasha. That time sometimes they use Atma contextually, individual also. But you need to understand the context, or else you will get confused. That's why we need, the teacher and the methodology of teaching, not reading Shastra directly. And of course, in the verse number 2, that also we have seen, if I am right or not. Verse number 2 we have seen or not. So it looks like everybody is like blank. That means none of you are reading, none of you are saying, have we seen the verse number 2 or not? Okay, so there is some confusion. Mahodadhirivahamsa prapancha vichisannivaha iti jnanam tathitasya na tyago na graho layah. Now he goes again one step ahead. Aham mahodadhi iva. Because in the first verse was being highlighted akasasya anantatva. How the infinite was highlighted in or through the example of space. Here wants to highlight agadhato. So agadhato means is so deep. So both way, you can say horizontal and vertical. The vastness being explained. Aham mahodadhihi iva. So I am like the great ocean. That's why we say once in a while go to take a bath in the ocean. And remember, when you are going to take bath in ocean, it is a ritual. It is not a time pass. Especially in West, I see people go there for time pass, okay? It is not a time pass. Yes, you can do time pass, nothing wrong in it, but it is a ritual. And why and how? Because there are a lot of processes to be followed. Let me not get into this, not today's job. Aham mohodadhi iva. I am like the great ocean. And interestingly, saha prapanchaha vichisannivaha. And this entire world is like exactly that, this wave. How the wave comes out of ocean. So this is the relationship between me and this universe. Iti jnanam tatheva asya na tyaga na graha na laya iti. So he says, look, na graha is wrong, na laya is wrong, na tyaga na graha laya iti. So he says, look, once I have this knowledge, so what is this understanding? The understanding is that I am like the vast ocean. And this entire universe is like waves that are rising in me, not from me. If it is from me, again it will go back. So that's why the problem with these parents and children. So parents think the children, they have come from me. So that's why when child goes out, they try to catch hold, bring back. So same thing also, if you think that these waves are coming out of me, from me, then again bring it back. No, in fact they are in me. So when they are rising in me, so that means what? When this is the understanding, can you see the difference? One word, from, in. Now because of this understanding, now there is no tyaga, there is no need to renounce anything. What to renounce? At the same time, no graha, not necessary to grab or accept. So there is no renunciation, there is no acceptance. Because we reject or we accept not the object, not people, not anything. In fact, we keep rejecting and accepting our thought. The external world just represents our thought. It is like when I am a man of negative, everything appears to be negative to me. I don't see any light. Anywhere and everywhere I see negative, I start suspecting, I start, questioning, I do everything. Because it is me, my thinking. So also when I want to grab, I won't say accept, okay? Grab, receive, no. Grab, like a crab. What happens? So in me also, there is insecurity. It is just a projection of me in the world. Here when there is understanding that the entire universe, that I see, you can see for yourself. The way you are, the world is projected accordingly. Or where you live as you are. When your thinking becomes higher and higher, you will discover your so-called world will not give you happiness, satisfaction. Somehow the world will go away or you will go away. It is impossible. That is what we keep changing. And those who do not change, that is another thing, okay? Nothing will happen, same thing, okay? So that is not a point here. So that's why, based on understanding, or you can say the world is nothing but my reflection in me, not from me, okay? So if it is a reflection in me, now what is the need of renouncing? What is the need to grab? Then what happens? There is no fight in me. When there is no fight in me, loyam, dissolution, absorption happens, takes place. This is called spontaneous. This is called meditation. What we call nididhyasanam, this is called result of nididhyasanam. That's why this is supposed to be happen spontaneously. Then he gives another example. Each example has its own beauty. Let us look at. Aham sa sukti sankashaha rupyavat vishwakalpana iti jnanam tathitasya na tyago na graho layah. He says, look, aham sukti sankasaha. Another example, aham, me or I am, like Sukti, so mother of Paul. Because if you observe this example, that a snail, from where this Paul comes, it is snail, but it appears as what? Silver. That means what? When it appears as silver, each silver touched by snail, or you can say snail, that mother of Paul, is it touched by silver? Definitely not. But as a person, what I do? I look at, both are one and same. In fact, the size of the mother Paul is the size of silver. I cannot wait, but I can see the thickness. Wow, so thick. So this is the example he gives, that this mother of Paul, I am untouched by silver. So also me and world. But it appears I am in the world. And he says, look, saha vishwakalpana rupyavat iti jnanam. So he who has the knowledge, so knowledge of what? That this entire universe is only appearance in me, not from me, in me. Like how, just as the silver appears on the shell. So how the silver appears on the shell, and at the same time, this shell or mother of Paul is not touched by the silver. Now entire universe appears in me, me being untouched. So this understanding to settle down in me, I need to have that sukshma buddhi, that subtle buddhi. And that subtle buddhi can happen when I work with myself. Because always we all work for others. Or you can say, you work for, sometimes say, I work for ourselves. I am working for my family. A Swami also can say, I am working for my organization. It's another crazy, okay, Swami? Each one must learn to work for one's own self. And when a person works for one's own self, only that person, whatever does, works for entire universe, because universe has come not from me, in me. So when the universe is arising in me, whatever I do for me, it is there for universe. Can you see this point very carefully? It is not being selfish. Yes, you become selfish when you think, you understand, oh, universe, it has come from me. I am the Srashta. I am the creator. Then what happens? When you become creator, if anything happens, then you cannot take it. So that's why he highlights very nicely, carefully. So this is also, if it is done, then he says, Asya Jnanasya, once this set of knowledge is there, not tyagaha na graha, same point. There is no need to give up, renounce, nor to accept or grab, because the resolution happens. Please understand. Somebody said very nicely, I can say this thing, because with this chapter is over, completed, only 4 verses. Very nicely, you know, you look at any elderly couple, especially above 70s, all over the world I have seen, they fight every day. It is very rare to find elderly couple above 70s that they don't fight. But remember, if they are fighting, there is love. And I am not telling you jokes, they are alive because they fight. As long as they fight, they are healthy and alive. The day fighting stops, in few months they will die. Because for them there is nothing interesting, you understand? Children have grown up or gone. Nothing to achieve, body cooperates, doesn't cooperate. Many friends must have gone. Nothing in this world. So at least one thing makes them alive, called fighting. Morning till evening there is something to do, you understand? Very nice. That's why whenever I get information that elderly people are fighting, I enjoy to listen to them. Good. Listen like like a pigeon. Just I am telling you, this is the secret. Never ever interfere in them, okay? If you want to, you can add, when you see the husband, you add some points. When you see wife separately, add another point. So that let them fight more, okay? So that you can enjoy. But do not interfere, don't try to suggest, do this, don't do that. Never do this mistake. Because that is their love. So what I am highlighting here is how they survive in this way. So in this world, you to survive, you get into all this mess. So you create the illusion, nothing wrong in it, but finally you get trapped. That is the problem. You can, nothing wrong in it. You must, but don't get trapped. But unfortunately, we get trapped. That's why we say, to live, to survive, to be alive, you need to be engaged in something or other. You can say prarabdha engages or whatever engages, but without getting trapped. That's why he highlights this point also, to be understood very carefully. So thus, this chapter is completed. And let me summarize this chapter so that we will complete. So if you look at this particular chapter, here, this Advaita Anubhava, Anubhava means not necessarily experiencing, feeling, understanding of this Advaita, non-duality, here is being explained by Janaka from his own understanding. And he says, look, I am someone. He gives in 4 verses 4 examples. The first one, I am like Akasha. Akasavat anantamiti. The second one, Mahodadivat agadham. Already I have spoken, so that's why I am talking it, okay? Akasavat ananta means like space, I am limitless, horizontal. Now, Mahodadivat agadham, so deep, there is no end. So, here is vertical, like ocean. Suktivat, mother of pearl, like mother of pearl. Avikaravat. So, avikara means I don't go any change, because untouched. At the same time, sarva bhutabhyapi chaitanyam iti. So that means what? I am someone. Did I complete the fourth verse? No, huh? That's why there is some issue. I was looking at something, I have made a mess. Aham va sarvabhutesu sarvabhutanyatho mayi iti jnanam tathitasya natyago nagraho layah. So that's why when I went back to cross-reference, so I saw, I have not taken this, the fourth one. Here it says, aham vas sarvabhutesu. Aham sarvabhutesu asmiti. That means, I am in all beings. Athava, va, athava, or sarvabhutani mai shanti iti jnanam. Or all beings are in me. You can take any standpoint. That's why sometimes we say, you can look at yourself from both the angle. So, both the angle means like who you are. In your house, you are everything. Now if you look at in your extended family or in your family, you are, okay, maybe a major role playing. Whereas in your extended family, who you are? Big question. Again you extend. When you are in your city or street, then city, then your state, your region, state, country, who you are? Do you really exist? Suppose, no, I am Prime Minister, I am President, okay, fine. If you are a Prime Minister and a President in the world, who you are? Okay, you are most powerful President, fantastic. Maybe you are somebody. Now, in this solar planet, who you are? Do the people, those who live in other planet, Mars and whatnot, if they are living, do they bother about you? Do they know about you? And this sun is a dwarf star. There are giant stars are available. How many universes are existing in the galaxy? That's why galaxy, Milky Way. Who you are? You are nobody. Can you see this point? This is one way. Other way you can see, just observe astronomically that you are in your space. Oh, this is my space, very big. Now, wherever you are staying in that region, your space is how big? In your country, your space is how big? In continent, how big? In this globe, how big? I am not saying how small, okay? Not even if one dot, okay? Then of course, in this globe, then solar planet, galaxy, Milky Way. Anyway, you try to look at yourself. In fact, you don't exist. The ego, the ahankara, the identification cannot exist. So that time what you do? Either you drop and go away or you sleep. That is only, there are two methods, okay? Either you drop, okay, this is not my cup of tea, let me go. Let me change my mind, divert my mind. And this Vedanta Swami is not for everybody, it's not my cup of tea. Good. Or sleep off. That's why he says very carefully, both way if you look at, there is nothing exists. Here also same thing he says, you look at ahams sarvabhuteshu asmi or sarvabhutani mai santi. I am in all being or all beings are in me. Both way, fantastic. And in this understanding, there is nothing to renounce, nothing to grab. Whatever comes, comes, whatever goes, goes. But remember one thing, I need to be honest to myself. That is the most important aspect. I don't have to prove my existence to anybody. Remember this point. I'm going a little bit out of the topic now. I don't have to prove my existence to anybody. Moment I work to prove my existence to someone or somebody, whatever decision I make, it is wrong. Just observe you all. Whatever you are doing with strong passion, what you call as, some way or other, do you want to prove your existence or not? Starting, you want to prove, especially boys, they want to prove with their father, okay? I am bigger than you, better than you. Girls also, they have their own way, okay, each one. Whenever you want to prove your existence, and whatever you do to prove the existence, that becomes wrong in long run. That's why, as we grow old, or at least we become mature, we start seeing what are the mistakes we have done in our life. That's why I say, seeing my mistake is called maturity. More and more I see my mistake is maturity, not showing others' mistake, pointing out others' mistake. Because more I point out others' mistake, more I am immature. Like somebody said, I did not want to go to overseas, because of somebody I went. I did not want to be this, but because of somebody I did that. Hey, please. Again you are telling a lie to yourself. Deep within somewhere you wanted to prove your existence. And now be honest. Whatever you have done so far, have you ever proved your existence? Only you have proved how stupid you are. Yes, maybe your stupidity, your existence. That's why, after this, you don't have to do. That's why to have this maturity, you need to be in that position. Yes, be a stupid to prove that you are stupid. First be stupid, okay? That is acceptable. But after being stupid, still if you continue, no, I am somebody. That means something seriously wrong with you. You understand? That's why this verse is so nice, this chapter. There is no effort. In fact, the day you discover there is no effort in your life, you don't have to put any effort for anything. That is the sthiti of yourself. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति।